So there is still plenty of time left in summer if you want to escape the heat or you've had it with the monsoon storms. But of course, the last thing that anyone wants to do is waste that precious vacation time dealing with something that goes wrong. So joining me this morning is Don Alvarez from Radix Law. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk travel rights here so that you know what to do in the event that something goes wrong. So first, of course, the fine print seems to be everything if you're booking a flight or a cruise. Say, so what kind of things should you be paying attention to?
Well, if you're booking a flight, you need to be aware of their cancellation and or delay policies.
Okay.
A lot of times airlines are delayed, and what are your rights in that event? Most of the time the airline will try and get you on an alternate flight next available. Sometimes they will get you to a different airline, which if that happens, if you've already checked your bags, may cause additional problems.
Right.
But if your flight is canceled, then you have the right to get a refund. If you don't want to go forward with the rest of your trip, you get a refund for the unused portion, or they'll try and get you another flight with their airline or with another airline.
Now, let's say that cancellation, the cause of the cancellation, say it's weather related, how does that factor into being able to ask for a refund or get rebooked?
Well, if it's canceled, you may be able to ask for a refund, but you need to read the airline policies with respect to that. The airlines are not responsible for weather delays.
Right, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Same thing with any type of travel.
Okay, so you could try to ask, but really they could also tell you no on that one if it's weather related.
Well, what they typically do is try and get you on an alternate flight, next available, or another airline.
Now let's talk about when you get to your destination, you get to your hotel. What if suddenly they're overbooked, or they're trying to change the room that you thought that you were getting? What do you do?
Well, in the United States, there's no federal law on this.
Okay.
So, and in foreign countries, there's probably less rights, but every country will have a different policy if they do have statutes on it.
Okay.
The main thing we rely on is the hotel industry custom, and what they typically try and do, and I've traveled in Mexico where they've done this, I've traveled in the United States where they've done this, they'll try and get you another room at a comparable hotel.
Okay.
Sometimes they're not comparable, but usually that takes about a night or so before they get your room ready, and then you're back, depending upon the length of stay. But you can be proactive, and here's what I suggest. Always pay with a credit card, because then you can always dispute the charges later.
That's true.
Number one. Number two, get there early, because if it's overbooked, you're in.
What are you
it's
gonna do?
the other guy's problem that comes late. And you always try and be patient, pleasant, and polite, because it's not the front desk's problem. It's usually a corporate problem if it's overbooked.
Certainly,
because
like anything else.
Yes, just like the airlines, they overbook.
They're just people, too, trying to do their job. So great advice from Don. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. If you have any more questions or need help, Radix Law is on your screen right there so that you have smooth sailing. Thanks for joining us.